All right, welcome back to the Beers and Breakevens late show for round 9. Unbuckle the belt, get off the fence, let's have some fun. My 5'8", my little KO Weeks over here. Timmy Williams, how are we?
Good, mate. Don't know if I want to be KO Weeks after last week's performance from the mighty, not so mighty Durs, but look, it's good to be back on the late show where we said unbuckle the belt and get a bit weird.
Mate, calling you KO Weeks had nothing to do with football ability. I just think he's a good-looking rooster.
Thanks, mate.
That's all right.
Kindest thing you've ever said to me.
I know. Don't get used to it. Kathmandu, how are we?
Just feel like I'm interrupting something over here.
Yeah, it's a little moment.
Yeah. It's
Good
nice
gear.
to see you two getting along,
I
complimenting each other.
Yeah, it's good.
I remember the one episode where I asked you a question that was about you two and each other was the most awkward moment I think we've had in the studio so far.
Oh, by far and away.
You really struggled to say nice things about each other.
Yeah.
Well, I'd never said anything nice about him, let alone under pressure with a 30-second time limit. I couldn't find anything that'd last 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's a common problem for me. All right, let's get stuck into scissors, paper, rock. Scissors, paper, rock. Scissors, paper, rock.
Yes, he's back. Needed that.
Hurts. All right, 30 seconds to answer rapid fire questions that are going to be shot at us by Kathmandu, sent in by you guys. The Catalyst.
All right,
the
let's
Cataract.
roll. So, Timmy, are you first?
No,
you want to answer
Bruce
first?
first.
Bruce first. Okay. This first question is from Mitch Moore. We love a Mitch Moore question. Has your game plan for this year changed or is it still the same? E.g., when to save trades or use boosts?
I'm going to call an audible here, Timmy, and say that this isn't a 30-second question because I think this is really good, something we haven't sort of spoken about. Yeah, my plans have changed a little bit. I came into the season very, very strong on having a lot of boost to finish the season with, like I did last year. I've got 2 left. I reckon I'll probably use another one in the next 8 weeks or so. So yeah, as far as my boost goes, it's definitely changed. I didn't plan to use this many trades at this point of the year, but I also don't think I've wasted trades, and I think I'm generating so much cash, so much do-re me, it's not even funny. So I have had to adjust and change, but I do plan on, especially during this origin period where I think a lot of people are going to make frantic changes, I do plan to just back in the squad I've got at the moment because I want to have 5 or 6 trades to use in those last 5 or 6 weeks at the end of the season like I had last year. What are you thinking?
Yeah, nothing majorly has changed. The probably one thing that I've altered a little bit this season is around boosts and just seen a lot of people have success in recent years across different SuperCoach formats since boosts have been introduced that have gone hard on them early and like used them all up. Now, look, that's not the approach that I want to be taking and burning through them all early. I've been very vocal about wanting to say, I always want to save one for that round 20, 21 after the origin period when I want to get my team back to where I want to be for that run home.
Yeah.
So I still want to do that. I've used 3. I'm not against using a 4th like Uru over the next month.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it for the sake of doing it. But if the week comes and go, shit, I need this 3rd trade, I really do. Somewhere like around 14, I think I can see myself using it because I'm already pretty well set up for that round 13, first major bye week, and I should have 13 players, barring injuries and bad luck, quite comfortably there. So I can see myself round 14, which is going to be a particularly tricky week with some popular SuperCoach teams on the bye. I think I'll use one round 14, and I reckon I'll use one round 20. But yeah, just probably being a little bit more aggressive on the boosts.
Yeah, I like it. How many boosts you got? I got 2 left.
I got 2 left, yeah.
Yeah, sweet. How many you got left, Kat? You got 4 left or 3?
I've only used 1.
Sickening. Take us to the next question, Kat.
Kat's actually accrued interest in me giving another boost.
Give it another boost.
No, Blue Wealth have actually asked me to come on board.
Love that.
Okay. Josh Ryan has asked, talk to me studs, is Sarko or Dane Gagai? Timmy.
I love Asako this week. I really do. I just think he's at an affordable price. We know he's got tons and big scores in him. The Dolphins have a good draw. Dry game this week helps. A phenomenal draw across Origin, playing around 13, 16, 19. Rue, I have a massive eye on Dane Gagai for next week. He's got a 78-odd break even. Goal kicking, though. We know how good his base is. It's about 40 this season. So I'm pretty keen on Gagai as a pod next week. I just want to see him kick well because your best mate, Jackson Hastings, if Gagai doesn't hit him well, I know Jacko has these foot issues, but he could take over him very quickly.
I think he could take over.
Yeah,
very
that's
soon.
my concern.
Yeah, that's the concern. I don't mind either. I won't be looking at either of them. You've done a good job actually selling Jermaine Asako today. Not enough for me to look at him, but enough for me to understand the play. I would go Asako this week and just without KP, I don't know if I want Newcastle outside backs.
Yeah.
That's the worry for me. So I won't be getting either of them, but I can understand both of them.
Just quickly, the Knights do go left a lot with Ponga. With no Ponga there, I don't think it can hurt Gago that much.
Yeah. I'm just not sure how many points they're going to score in general. But he's a guy that he doesn't score tries and he still scores well in SuperCoach. So, yeah. Next up, Kat.
Okay. This one is from Steve Hevner. Morgan Smithies, is he a hold? I just absolutely love and adore the bloke.
Oh, heavenly hands, Hevner. When he loves and adores someone, you better watch your the bushes out the front of your house. Morgan Smithies, I'm not too sure what I'm doing. I think I've just got bigger issues to deal with. I think the last few weeks he's played less minutes because the Raiders have been played off the park. Corey Horsburgh, I'm not sure when he's coming back. Timmy will be able to probably tell you more, but I'm not looking to sell him right now. I think eventually I will, but I still think he's got 60, 65-minute games in him and 65-point games when the scores are tight, which I just can't see the Raiders getting blown out every week like they did last week.
Firm hold for me, Smithies. I think, again, looking ahead to the origin period, plays round 13, round 16, unless his minutes really fall off a cliff, he's not going to drop much money. When the minutes are there and the Raiders, are in the contest, which, as you said, should be most weeks, he'll play 65 to 80 minutes. He's been scoring 65 in base at times. As our squads get deeper, you don't have to play him in your team every week, but I think for around 13 and 16, he's going to be invaluable.
Yeah, and I think as well, like Corey Horsburgh returning soon, we'll talk in pre-show, with all these middle forward injuries for the Queensland Maroons, he could only have 2 games and be back in Queensland camp.
Yeah.
So you might not really see much of Corey in lime green.
A few more injuries and big puppas coming out of origin retirement, mate.
It's probably closer than he should be. It's wild. Next up, Kat.
Speaking of big puppas, this one is from Luca Hanna. Cleary, a must-have this week.
Not a must, no. It's a great matchup, isn't it? I think you'd be very scared not owning Nicho Hynes this week for obvious reasons, but look, SJ has a decent enough matchup against the Knights, who their left edge defence with Marju's not been great the last few weeks. SJ's firing, coming off a 50 last week. If Cleary scores poorly again this week, I don't think it's going to happen, but can have a huge break even. Very good buy. Definitely not a must-have.
Yeah, I wouldn't put him in must-have category, but, we spoke about it on Biz and Breakevens earlier today. If I was Kat and I had SJ, which I'm sure anyone making this decision is probably sitting in the SJ boat, I would be making the move this week. But if you don't, I wouldn't hold it against you.
Yeah, definitely making that move this week. This one is from Joshy. Thoughts on Samuela Fainu?
Yeah, obviously a little bit disappointing on the weekend with the sin bin and whatnot, but I still thought he scored reasonably well considering sin bin, -8, he missed 10 minutes. Broncos, he's got a heap of upside to him. His dual position, I still like it. I'm not going to do it, but I still really like it. I actually kind of like him for an anytime try scorer this weekend. I think he's at about 550. It's juicy.
Just because John Bateman's at lock and could so easily be shifted back to an edge if Fainu has a bad game, I wouldn't be doing it early. His break-even's 13 or so, but he had a lower score last week, so he's not going to go up tremendously in value over the next 2 weeks. If he locks down the 80-minute edge roll in the next week to 2 weeks, I think Sam Hughes topping out, peaking in price to Fainu. If you have an 80-minute edge back rower in your front row, even if he's just for depth, I think that's a really good little play. So I'm eyeing that the next few weeks, but not this week.
I reckon he will lock it down. I just think he looks incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him.
All right, last question, and it is one that you have been very excited about, or both of you have been very excited about, because you had a feeling that this one was coming. From Jai Beats. You are living in Springfield. Who are you selecting to play your 1, 6, 7 and 9?
Yes. This will be going over 30 seconds as well.
Oh, yep.
Great question. Look, at number 1, I'm going to lock in Malloy, the cat burglar. Who is sharper, slighter of foot, slighter of hand than Malloy, the cat burglar? I think you can't go past him as a number 1. He's quick. He's got every attribute you want in a fullback. At number 6, I'm going to go with Nelson Muntz. Look, we saw the damage that he did for the Little League gridiron side alongside old Bart playing quarterback there. So, look, just a big, strong, ball-running 5'8", a bully in your team. Nelson Muntz, you have to have him in your spine somewhere, and he could play most of the positions. At number 7, I've got 2 on my mind here, and number 7, you need smarts. So initially, Grimy came to mind, obviously prior to
Frankie.
death. Yeah, just one of the sharpest ones, but he's just a little bit too small in the modern era of rugby league to really fit in there and do a job. I think he'd be a defensive liability. So, mate, Sideshow Bob, I think he's got menace. He's got brains. I think would be an unreal number 7, Sideshow Bob. And at number 9, he's a bit of a clone for Brandon Smith, the Cheese, but I've gone with Chief Wiggum. I think just a great stocky build, slow over about 20 metres, but I reckon out of dummy half, low centre of gravity, I can be real quick out of dummy half, so I've gone with Clancy.
I like that. Now, I've just been going through this in my head very quickly. I love your fullback shout, and I feel like I've been upstage regardless of what I do.
You can't believe it.
I'm going to go Radioactive Man. I am very happy with that selection there. Radioactive Man at 1. I'm still looking for a 6, and I might come back to you and get a little bit of help. I like my 5'8" to be a bit like Cam Munster, a little bit rogue, the Pied Piper. So I was looking at Duffman at number 6. I don't mind.
There's a bit of Paul Alamotti build about Duffman.
A bit of Duffman.
Duffman and Radioactive Man.
You went Nelson Muntz. I've actually gone him at 9. He's my Brandon Smith.
I tinkered with him as a 9 as well.
I like that. My 7 though. And I think if you look in the NRL right now, the best halfbacks in the game, they are the older, more mature guys. They're the smarter guys between the years. And I just thought, I'm going to get the smartest guy in the town to play halfback, Professor Frank.
Frank came to mind for me as well.
Thanks for coming.
Do you think you got enough size about him?
Don't give a fuck. He's the mad professor. He'll find something. I'm going Frankie at 7. I need a 5'8". Let's rub our 3 brain cells together here. Who did you had Nelson? I'm playing him at 6.
Yeah, I actually struggled for a 5'8" off the top of my mind, so immediately I just switched him from 9. I do think he's a bit better 9 Nelson Muntz, but I've gone him 9 to 6. Finding number 6 a little. I was tossing up like Lenny or Carl if you would get them in there, but I don't think they've got enough go about them.
Yeah. Who I always think looks like he's obviously not a noted athlete, but I always think he looks fit and trim. Lovejoy, yeah. Very strong, very, very up and down.
Bit of Lockie Galvin about him.
I also wouldn't hate chucking Willie in at 5'8".
You want your Cam Munster?
Yeah, it's probably Willie. Isn't it? Yeah, actually, I'm going to go Willie. Kat, did you have a thing? Did you have anyone that we missed? We know you're a big Simpsons fan as well. Was there anyone that we missed?
I'm not a big Simpsons fan.
I thought you were.
No, I wasn't even allowed to watch it as a kid.
I show you Simpson memes all the time.
Yeah, but like I find some funny when they're more well-known characters, but you guys have gone Frankie and I'm Googling who these guys are.
Oh, right. Sorry. I thought you were a big Simpsons fan.
No.
As our combined spine, can we lock in Malloy at 1?
Yeah.
I love the Willie at 6 call. He's the mad dog Cam Munster.
Yeah.
I prefer Sideshow Bob at 7 than Frank. I like him defensively better.
Okay.
I think Sideshow Bob will be unreal. And at 9, Nelson Muntz. Yeah, okay. Let us know in the comments, what is your Simpsons spine that you would have? Let us know in the comments. We should do a weekly one of these with different shows.
Yeah,
Fuck,
that
I love a
agree with.
Seinfeld spine.
A show that I can contribute to.
Yeah, okay,
awesome.
yeah. We'll find one. That actually might be a good little weekly thing. And we can pre-prepare it.
Got it.
I like that. All right. Have we got any more questions?
No, that was it. That was it.
That was a good episode. I like that. And by the way, shout out to you guys. We had a look through the questions today. I reckon 30% of them are SuperCoach questions. The rest of them are just random shit.
Yeah, believe it or not, this is a SuperCoach show.
That was the original plan, but we could almost make another show out of the random questions we got. Some of them were great. All right, we done? We good? Mm-hmm. All right. Let's hit the frog. Thanks for joining us once again on The Late Show. Obviously, Beers and Breakevens. The full episode dropped a little bit earlier today. An absolute cracker. So make sure you go and check that out.